Hi, I'm John from License One, and I'm going to help you get set up with the basics of your License One account so that you can make the most out of your free trial. So if you've already created your License One account, you've probably arrived to this interface where License One asks you if you would like to set up an account with demo data, otherwise we pre-populate it with fake data, or if you want to start with your own data. Now, it's not really important for beginning, but what I always recommend to users is to start with demo data. Reason being is that will allow you to see License One's interface as if it was already pre-populated with all your different data sources. So you can get a better idea of all of the different features that we offer without necessarily having to wait on the accountant or someone else to link your accounting software, bank account, or whatever. But let's assume you've got past that stage and you're now at the stage of actually integrating all of your real data so that License One can start detecting all of your SaaS applications and building an inventory of all of your different subscriptions. Where that takes place is through the data sources section of your License One account. So there, what you can synchronize are accounting software, QuickBooks, Xero, Celsi, and others are coming soon. Your bank accounts, so we integrate with bank accounts across the US, Canada, and the Eurozone. And you can also integrate your virtual payment card solutions. So things like Pleo, Spendesk, Brex, License One will cover them all. Then what License One is going to do in the background is look through all of those payment descriptions, try to match it against our database of index software, and if it matches, we're going to pull it into your License One account automatically. If it doesn't, we do nothing. That means that each day, each minute, each second, we are constantly analyzing your payment influxes and outgoings to ensure that there is always an up-to-date one source of truth for all of your software subscription spend, and that is found in License One. And then on top of all of that data, what we often recommend is that companies ask their users to deploy the License One browser extension, which is available on all of your favorite browsers. What that's going to do is when a user in your company logs into any one of their favorite business applications, License One is going to look into the URL. If that URL matches a business software in our database, we will link that user with the software that they have accessed and also log the time that they've done so. But that's me just speaking about how to get set up. Let's imagine we're already set up and delve right into it. So first things first, when I come into License One, everything that I will need to do is prompted through what we call our action items, and they're found on your dashboard. So you can see here on my License One demo account, I have one application that has a renewal date that hasn't been updated, 3 apps that require me to update their status, 40 applications where I could optimize my spend because License One has detected via the browser extension I have inactive users, yet I'm paying for them, and I should also probably invite an employee who doesn't yet have the browser extension installed. Let's go through one of them just so we can see how it looks together. So if I click on the 40 applications that have inactive users, all I need to do is click. License One automatically applies all of the filters on my list of applications, and then I see all of these applications associated with their spend, and also I see this nasty column, unfortunately, where 3 out of 4 users are active on Webflow or on Notion, etc., etc. And that's one of the leading causes of wasted spend in all of your software subscriptions, is paying for accounts, licenses, or user access for people that don't actually log in every month. Doesn't stop all of your software subscriptions invoicing you for that seat, however, so that's where we come in. Let's delve into a Notion. So what you'll see is, thanks to that data that License One has pulled in through your payment accounts and browser extension, we're going to see a history of all of that different login activity over time. We're going to see how our spend has evolved for Notion. We're also going to see different information that we want to stock, so we have one source of truth. So for example, I've made a personal note for why we use Notion internally here, but in your case, it might be used for a whole different set of things. But at least in this case, it's always centralized so that if anybody ever questions a subscription, you know why it exists in your company. Because of the application manager, you know who is responsible and all of this different accompanying information. What interests me though, is, as we were looking at before, is this inactive user. So let's try to click on the active users tab. Aha. So you can see, again, thanks to the License One browser extension, we've detected that out of the 5 different users, Gabriel hasn't logged in for a couple of months now. Yet we're definitely paying for an access for him. So that's somebody we should probably be thinking of removing his access. What I can also see from this view is my spend history. So I can see how that has developed over time in a table format. And I can also update, for example, contract renewal dates and then receive notifications when those dates come up. If I've set up my email notifications, it will come through email. Or if I prefer to integrate my Slack account, those notifications will come through Slack. License One adapts to however you've set it up. So very quickly, let's go look in more detail at Gabriel and see his employee profile. So I could go to the employee section on the left-hand side, but instead I'm going to click through the user section. And the beauty of License One is because we've centralized all of the different business apps that we've detected via our browser extension that Gabriel has accessed, I see all of those different apps. And I can also see, unfortunately, a lot, where he hasn't been logging in as often as perhaps he should be. Now that we've centralized all of that data, what we can now do is know what applications we should remove Gabriel from if, first of all, we want to save money, but also, unfortunately, if he leaves the company. And in that case, what we would do is we would go to the top right of his employee profile and click Start Offboarding Process. Now, what that's going to do is create a list of tasks assigned to each application manager, otherwise the person who's supposed to be managing accesses and logins. And we're going to notify that person that Gabriel needs to be removed from ChargeBee. So in this instance, it's Emilian that needs to remove him from ChargeBee. I am responsible for removing him for Ngrok, LinkedIn, and Hotjar, and Remy from GitLab. So what happens is then Emilian logs in to ChargeBee. He will remove manually the access of Gabriel, mark the task as complete, and then you will see here we have a completed task. So now we're working collaboratively within the team, delegating onboarding and offboarding tasks, and making sure that no employee ever leaves the company where we still pay for a subscription, or even worse, maintaining access to sensitive company data. And that philosophy of collaborating on software subscription management within a company is sort of something that we've expected and built the product for. So what you will see is if you head to your settings section and then click on users, you will also see that when you want to invite different users, we have granular levels of access so that you only give access rates to the License One platform that the person needs, but also enough that you can invite team managers, employees, and global administrators alike. And of course, that's just scratching the surface of the License One platform, but it should be enough for you to get started and start playing around with things. However, if you ever get stuck with something, please feel free to chat with our customer support team on the bottom left-hand side of your interface. It will only be humans that respond, we promise. And if you prefer the human touch, we also offer a free onboarding call to all users, which you can freely request also through that chat. Just mention it to one of our operators and they will gladly set that up for you. So thanks for taking a License One trial, and I hope to see you around soon.